What's up, everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, the podcast inspiring young rock and metal fans to discover new music and feel their desire to connect and feel accepted. Welcome to the podcast once again, everybody. This one is about a band where, when it comes to genre, I know I've said this before, but like you can't really put them in a genre, but these guys literally started a band. It's like, well, what do you guys want to do? But it worked out in the best possible way, and now the band is continuing to grow every day. Yeah, I said that every day. Before we jump in, though, I want to thank sponsorship for this podcast, which of course comes from Phoenix Fitness. So you guys know me. I love going to live shows, but what I love about live shows, I love mosh pits, man. I cannot stop. And my favorite thing to do is go from the beginning of the first band to the end of the last band and never, ever, ever leaving. So I have to do something with myself, and that's stay, as I like to call, mosh pit fit. So how do I stay mosh pit fit? Well, I'm going to the gym constantly, making sure my body is prepared for this kind of stuff. So I'm doing as much cardio work as possible. I'm making sure that I'm lifting weights so I can deliver those hits and take the hits from the big dudes. Because I'll say this, I'm not small, but I'm definitely not the big dude in the pit. Nate, I'm looking at you. But, I mean, I got to make sure that I'm prepared and ready to do this stuff. So I have to make sure I'm maintaining my fitness goals of being mosh pit fit. And you can maintain your fitness goals as well, whether it's be mosh pit fit or whether it's be, however fit you want to be. But the other thing you have to do is consistently prepare and recover right, because you make sure your body is ready to go every given day and is building up on those muscles. Being able to prepare right, recover right, it's very important. That's where Phoenix Fitness comes in. They have many different types of supplements to help you achieve your fitness goals or get mosh pit fit. They have different types of pre-workouts, both Sim and Sim-free. I use the Sim-free stuff because, guys, I've got so much energy, I don't need any extra caffeine. Plus, me and caffeine go, I'm like Kramer and Seinfeld's. We also have different types of BCAA recovery compounds to get nutrients in your muscles directly after workout. Different types of creatine to help you build muscle. Different types of protein, whey-based, plant-based, collagen-based protein. I use their whey, chocolate malt flavor. That's good stuff. And different types of multivitamins. Literally anything you need to achieve your fitness goals and get mosh pit fit with us. Phoenix Fitness has to. So our listeners and viewers on YouTube get 20% off. Use the code CPP20 at fnxfit.com. Thank you, Phoenix Fitness. Link description below. Now time for a feature presentation. Ooh, this is a good one. Coming all the way from Germany, we have Simon and Marcel from the band Senna to the podcast. And yeah, when it comes to genre, can we describe it? We're going to try to. So, without further ado, are you guys ready? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. This one is going to be a lot of fun because I tried figuring out how do we describe this band, how to describe their sound. Genre blending is really the only way I could possibly describe it because there are so many different pieces that can come in here, all the way from like using vintage amps, these crazy analog synths, some non-metal guitars and basses all put together. The style can really go anywhere, and you're definitely going to want to check this one out. The band released their debut EP, A Moment of Quiet, back in 2022, and their single from that EP, Rosehip, has been doing very well, and you guys are definitely want to go check that out because there's a great music video out for it, there's a great story behind it, everything around there. So enough with me, pumping up this band, enough with me pumping them up and go like crazy because let's talk to them. So please welcome from Germany, Marcel and Simon from the band Senna to the podcast. So gentlemen, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
Jesus, that was awesome, man. I want to be introduced like that forever now.
Yeah, like you could come and tour, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I? Because that would be just awesome, just coming up on stage, just like basically doing like WWE style promos.
Just like pump it up, yes.
Just like going like awesome. Triple H, like tonight on this very stage will come a band to absolutely blow your mind.
Man, that would be great, yeah. Like at the moment, it's just me standing there and not saying a word. Like, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Just like start to raise the arms, like, are you guys ready? And then all of a sudden, just you guys aren't moving yet. Okay, hit it.
Yeah, it's especially like if you're just the opener, because no one. I mean, let's be real. It's not like people dislike you, but they're not there to see you, kind of. So everyone's just fixing their shit on stage, and then you go there, and it's like everyone's just looking around. I guess we can start now, and everyone's like, just.
Imagine right now, getting pumped by this guy, like getting fucking crazy, like, open up this shit. That would be great, yeah.
The crazy thing is, like, I've seen so many live shows. I mean, you guys have played so many live shows as well, so you guys can attest this. When it comes to a lot of those opening bands, I do agree. When fans go there, it's, you want to see probably most likely maybe one of the middle bands because you're a very big fan of them, or of course the headliner because that's what the headliner is there for. So when that opening band comes, you're trying to get into the show. It depends upon how that's going to happen. But there are times where I've seen some bands open shows come right in and literally have that energy of just, let's get everyone going. They come in with the most manic style possible, and by the time that like their set gets going within one song, the whole entire crowd is jumping into it. So if you guys can pull that off, especially on this upcoming tour you guys got coming up with Siamese and Resolve, I mean, you guys can definitely pull this off, and just like, instead of coming out and just like, let's go do this, no one's moving, let's go, hit it, and then all of a sudden people are just like, oh shoot, the show started. Well, now stop sitting at the bar. Let's come out to the show, see what's going on. And at the end of it, they're going to want to, instead of, line up at the bar, they'll line up at the merch table for you guys, seeing like, are these guys going to come out? Can we meet these guys? I really want to, especially after that set. Like, come on.
We had like the complete opposite of that happened in Berlin, because for some reason our show got, we had to play 15 minutes early, but no one told anyone, so we had to start, and people weren't even in the room yet. It's like, Jesus, do we need to start now? That's rough. And then we started going, and it was like 20 people or something, and then after like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, like people started to come in, but it was kind of, like, the damage has been done. It was like, really, they did us dirty.
Oh no, like,
yeah, it really sucked.
How did that happen though? Especially with them doing something like that. I've talked with a number of artists, especially when it comes to the opening side of things, and there's sometimes where they have the doors open and the band's gone like 15 or 30 minutes later, and it's like that's just not enough time to get people into it. And I've heard about some ones where all of a sudden it's doors open an hour before the show starts, so that opener that goes on is playing in front of like 1,000 people at least, because people have had their time to get to the show. If they're running a little later, doors open an hour later. So how did that all go down, where you guys got, it's like, okay, we play 15 minutes beforehand, and by the time people really start coming, it's like, well, now your set is done. I mean, kind of, how did that all go down? That's just really interesting to me.
I have no idea. So it was very short notice, the tour anyway. So it was the tour with Ocean Grove, and so the boys were absolutely amazing, lovely guys. But for some reason, I don't know like what happened, but for a lot of the events,
there was a big huge party afterwards, because this was kind of an event location. So they had a more like stacked time. You had to play early. They didn't communicate that, and they didn't even write it when they were posting it on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, for all of the shows, people didn't know we were playing. So when we played in Cologne, we were kind of setting up our stage in the middle of the day, and then some random dude came into the venue, and I was the first person he got to. So he asked me, "Do you know what band is playing? What band is opening for Ocean Grove?" And it's like, I'm like my band Senna. Hi, nice to meet you. Check us out, please. And he's like, it's written nowhere. Like I couldn't find anything. So there was like, I don't know. I guess it's fine. Like it was. I'm not sure. We were asked maybe just a few weeks before that if we want to play that. And we said yeah, sure. But I guess there was not enough time to, I don't know, announce that we're playing in the official like ticket sales sites and shit. So I don't know, like that part of it was really messy. Then also like some of the in one venue the guy got Corona, who organized the whole event, so that was messy as well. I don't know, like everything was just so messy.
But like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. We just played the shows. There were like, we got to meet the Ocean Grove guys, which were just like super nice to us. We met a lot of like new people that enjoyed our music. We gained a few friends. We met a few people that we kind of know from our like hometown. which also traveled, I don't know, like to Cologne, which is 2 or 3 hour drive, and then we met them there. We didn't know we would see each other, all of that. So I don't know, it was really nice. It was our first proper tour, I would say, where it's not going home in between gigs, but just like staying on the road. Yeah, it was a mess, but it was a lot of fun.
Anyway, the shows were still really good. They were crazy, like, but still, I could see you standing in front and pushing everybody to the limit. That would be so great. Even though that one show didn't expect it to go that well, but it would take you on tour. So if you're up to, you come down, and you'd be like our pump up guy. I don't know how to say.
Announcer, hype man.
Yeah, be the hype man.
Yeah, the hype man. Yeah.
See,
that'd be crazy.
I'll say that'd be something I'd be totally down for, especially because of you guys touring through Europe. I have not been back to. I've been to Europe in 2019, and that was it. And I was only there for like a week. And that's definitely not enough time to experience, a good amount of things, over in that side of the world. I mean, for myself, for that week, it was one of the craziest. It was probably the craziest week I've ever had in my entire life. So if it came to coming on tour, being a hype man, I mean, that's something I'm totally down for, and trying to, again, do everything WWE promo style to get everyone hyped up. But when it comes to that, first proper tour with all those things that happened that were fantastic, but all those other things that happen where, going on 15 minutes ahead of when you were supposed to be going on, not being necessarily put on the ticket sales or on the maybe promoted correctly. It's something where, yeah, it sucks you guys had to go through that, but in the end, especially going on tours going forward, you got an idea of what to expect. You create a great relationship with the guys in Ocean Grove. On top of that, now you have a little bit more of an idea in terms of how to deal with some of these venues, how to deal with some of these promoters, to make sure that you guys have what you need to do, and you guys have enough, say a little bit say so, and enough heads up in terms of what's going on, and enough promotion on the same side as well. Because as you guys release, the debut EP last year, and you guys continue to grow, more and more people are going to want to come out and see you guys, even if it is just on that opening spot for larger bands. So people are going to want to have that time to make sure they're coming out and see you at the beginning of the show, and not just like, oh shoot, we got here. Wait, they're already done? No!
Like literally we got that. Like people coming and saying, oh my God, just saw only those 15 minutes, and I was so mad that you guys played early. Well, that's cool. Like even these guys, they're pumped. They come the next time. We're playing in Berlin next time with that Resolve Siamese tour. So I guess they'll be coming because they want to see the whole set. So everything's cool.
See, I'd be doing the same thing too. I've had that happen before myself, where I've gone to shows and all of a sudden the timing was just really off, or that they just wasn't properly expressed. So I've missed a couple of songs from openers. I'm just thinking, dang, like sometimes I've actually gone to see the opener specifically, and the timing just hasn't worked out right. And I missed like 2 or 3 songs, and now I get mad at myself. It only makes me want to go and see that band again. So the next time they come around, I'm going to make sure I see them. Maybe they're not, maybe they have more than an opening spot, and I'm going to make sure I am there. I wouldn't say front row center, more it's like mosh pit center for me.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
I'm not sure if people are moshing that hard for us. It's so far it's been tame, but it's not like we have some heavy parts, but I guess they come too quickly out of nowhere for people to adjust. So it's all like, I don't know, it's like a very chill song, like not even metal music anymore, and then everyone's just vibing, and then there's like this really crazy crazy heavy part, and then people, oh fuck, and then it's gone already. So yeah.
Yeah, like I could promote those parts a bit earlier. Like, okay, you guys, you know what? Next thing is, and then everybody goes crazy. That's a good idea.
Well,
Because
I think-
those parts come really quick. If you know the music, there are parts like, I don't know, we've got breakdowns that last for 15 seconds max, but they're so wild. Like everybody's so, what the fuck? Didn't expect that shit to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that especially with your guys' music too, because there's so many different things that can happen within there, and there's a big period of time where it's a little bit more upbeat, but you're still more vibing to it. It's not as heavy where it's going to be go smash and grab. It's not the breakdown of Diamonds Aren't Forever by Bring Me the Horizon consistently all the way through. But a couple of things on that. One, as people get to know your music more, people are going to those shows, they're going to know when those parts are coming, so then they can prepare for them. Secondly, once you guys start playing, more of these festivals where it's focused in around that, people at festivals don't care what's necessarily going on. So we will go and mosh for the absolute craziest things, like a gigantic wall of death for the village people singing the chorus to YMCA. It has happened before. I have seen it. It is freaking hysterical, but at the same time, it's insane. But third, you never know what kind of crowd it's going to be. Maybe the crowd just really gets into it, even for bands that aren't going to fully bring that style of the pit, but the pit's going to end up going. I've seen it happen. Saw it happen last year. Like Dayseeker was a headliner, and yeah, we know Dayseeker was going to play some of the heavier stuff, play some of the more vibey, more emotional stuff. People were going to still get into it, but then the opening bands that were on that tour as well before them, the same thing happened where some people didn't know the music, but for us that did, we were able to get stuff going, and people were going crazy for Thornhill. People were going crazy for Holding Absence. People were going crazy for Caskets. So it just all depends upon maybe the crowd type as well in that setting, where when those heavier parts come in, maybe that crowd is just waiting for that moment. They go and do the smash and grab. And then when you guys are going with some of the vibey, some of the upbeat stuff, maybe instead of going with full smash and grab in the pit, we just start going and doing, crazy, weird dances, just like doing Conor McGregor all the way through the pit because we think it's fun, which I would do.
Yeah, if we, so all of us kind of played in just standard heavy, I don't know, like metalcore bands or like trancecore. Like I would say just some kind of hardcore, and like for me personally, it's still a bit weird to figure out like how do people react to it. It's like because if you're playing in a metalcore band, it's just mayhem through the set, and it's fine, And then like sometimes you have one part that's maybe a bit like, I don't know, a bit softer, a bit slower, and then people can like get a breather in, and then it's just mayhem again. But now for us, I don't know, like it's not that kind of music, right? So for me, and I'm also just in general not super experienced with playing shows. Like I've like with Senna, it's only been a handful, and also before that, I don't know, I played maybe 20-30 shows in total, which is not a lot. So I don't know, like for me, it's just like super crazy to experience a lot of the things for the first time. So on the last show, we played with Resolve actually, and we did the classic just phone lights out thing, which was the first time for me, so it just hit me like a brick wall. It's like, wow. It was like, and I mean, it's like 70 people, which is like for me super, like it's a lot because I've played shows in front of like 7 people regularly. So for me, 70 people is already a lot. But then I don't know, like we went to Beartooth 2-3 weeks ago, where it's like, I don't know, like how many thousands of people, and it's like, I don't know, like it's just such a wide range of things that can happen, like how people react to it. And for me, it's just been just so wild to like people just coming to our shows, like you said, like coming for the opener, and it's like, no, we're here for you. It's like crazy. Damn, like how much were the tickets? Like I want to give them their money back, it's like it's so crazy. Yeah, and like seeing people dance to our music, seeing people march to our music, I don't know, it's just it's still unbelievable, especially after COVID, where it was like I mean, like people have talked enough about all of that stuff, but still at the same time, like everyone was sitting on their asses for 2-3 years, and now like starting that again, it's just I don't know.
See, I can kind of see where you're coming from there specifically. And think about this too. It's, you're seeing Beartooth, you're seeing him play in front of, thousands of people, you in the crowd as well. And with Beartooth, like you said, absolute mayhem. I mean, those shows are energetic as all hell. I think I like to describe it as like if you took the car to like those like God, I can't even think of what I would call them right now. Like the jumper cables for your car, put them on the battery and then attach them to yourself and just feel the rush. That's like listening to Beartooth. That's how I always like to describe it. But it's just that energy. It's just, you're going to see that and you're seeing in front of thousands of people. But imagine just like starting out. There's bands that do that, start out and they play in front of 7 people. They play in front of 70 people. All bands have to start out at that point where you're going to be playing in front of so little people. It's going to take time to build up to that point where you're playing in front of all those different kind of people and everyone's getting into the music every step of the way. But whether it's 7, whether it's 70, it's a moment where you can create something impactful for those people, especially on stage. When you're playing in front of 70 people and you're saying at the end of the show, put your phone lights out and let's, vibe to this one more time, and you get all 7 of those people to pull their phone lights out, it lights up the room like crazy no matter how big or small the room is, and it makes you feel like, you're really doing something that's impacting people with your music. You're making them feel something that makes them feel positive in any sort of way, whether it's positive about the things they're going through, whether it's okay, they're remembering things that might not be the best in life, but your music has helped them get through that. So going to see you live, they feel that connection there. I've felt that plenty of times myself going to see live music, and I love seeing that happen every single time. And going forward as well, with your guys' music, it's not always, smash and grab. It's something that's a lot more dynamic with all the different kind of genres that you blend into your styles. So it is maybe a little bit tough for people to get like, okay, we know when it comes to shows, we know how we're going to interact because we know where the style is going to go. But it allows you guys to try so many new things and connect with so many different fans because people can listen to music and maybe it might be not be a fully, convoluted, like connected style for them. But because there are so many different pieces, so many different styles that also work within there, it blends into something that they're able to easily connect with and really get behind, whether it has a lighter sound that they're maybe not as keen to, or maybe it has a heavier sound that they tend to go, kind of step a little bit away from. But there's so many other things going on within that piece that they can connect to it. So it's might be a little bit tougher in a live setting until that moment happens where everyone gets to know Senna. And when you guys are playing, people know exactly what's going on because they're connecting with it in so many different ways where, you'll get the phone lights, you get the vibes, you get the good kind of feels, but also during some of those smash and grab parts, you're going to get people to go and try and, see what happens when we run full force head first into somebody.
Yeah,
Totally,
nicely
man.
put. No, it's like I think like we cannot complain. Like the run we've had so far was just amazing. The feedback we get from the people was downright positive. Except I think there was like there was one girl. I think she just like we finished our show. We're kind of like packing up our shit, and then it's like, what was their name? Senna. They sucked. But there was like just. I think there was just one girl or something, but no, like in general, I would say that people love it so far. We love it ourselves as well. I'm just super happy. I mean, it's still in the beginning, but I think what you said is super important. I think that's also probably my biggest takeaway with the Ocean Grove tour. It's like they just had like 120% energy every night, and like they played bigger shows already. But they were not like above these like tiny club shows as well. It's like just give it your all every single time, no matter what. And then because like this connection you have is like not dependent on how many people you play. And I think so our drummer Leon, he's actually a full-time musician, and he's played some really, really, really big shows, like stadium arena shows in front of like, I don't know. He opened for fucking Alicia Keys. like he's playing some really big geeks, and like talking to him is always really nice because it kind of like sets in perspective. Because he was like, I don't know, stage really big, like until like the distance to the first person is like 50 meters. You can't even see their face. It's like, I don't care. It's like, because I really hope none of us ever thinks, oh, it's only 200 people. But I know that Simon and Fabi, like they played in local bands before I played in local bands all my life. Like we came from the bottom, so I think we always remember how we started out, and it was a nice time always. It's like of course it's always nice if more people come, but like there's so many good experiences and memories I have where it's been not a lot of people. Like sometimes it's maybe just 10 people or so, but like you got really drunk afterwards or something, and then it's like it's okay again, I guess. Yeah, so I think for us, like coming from that background, like we have really appropriate expectations. So we can just like cruise through it and then just take it in and then have a good time always. So far, I guess. I hope
Like
we don't get full
we've
of
played
ourselves.
5 shows. Like we played 5 shows by now. Is it right?
Yeah,
Six
5 shows.
shows.
6 shows.
Shows.
Yeah, that's not a
6 shows.
lot.
That's not a lot, but man, we got overrun at the merch store. Like not even for one time. Like the reaction is crazy, and I don't know. I don't know where to put this because yeah, I've been in a band that's playing like disco, metalcore, and stuff. People really dig that music, but uh, like the fans didn't come that often to the merch store. They didn't talk a lot to us. They were like, "Oh, cool! This is cool to mosh," and went off. Yeah, but now we got those people that are really digging the music. They like came for being is an ocean. Went in 2 days with them, and they went to those shows and they came to us after our set, and they were like totally crazy. I've never heard of you guys, and this is insane. Instant fan, and those people gave me a push to do this 100%. Like this is really good. This is really crazy. That's like everything I want. People know listen to the music and being like blown away. That's what I want.
I'll say it's in those moments, or like when you get interactions with fans like that where, maybe you're not going to get as many people coming to the shows, maybe because you're just not connecting with the music as fully yet. And maybe it's just somewhere it's just not as fully out there and available where they haven't had the time to connect with it as much. And so when you see in those shows, it's, maybe playing in bands before, like you had said, where you're seeing more people come to the shows, but then at the end, at the merch table, people just aren't necessarily showing up. But now you've got somewhere, okay, starting back out again, starting to go back out on the road, starting back out with these shows. Yeah, you're not seeing as many people out there, but then when you're going back to the merge table after the set and you're sitting there, people are consistently coming up and people are, wanting to support the band. People are buying a shirt, people are buying anything that they can get their hands on, and people are connecting with you guys personally where, every time you have one of those interactions, it's time to connect with that person and give that person a positive interaction so that they go forward, continuing to listen to the band, continuing wanting to seek out the band, wanting to see you guys play live and go forward from there. And yeah, with how many billions of people there are in the world, I think we're almost at 8 billion or maybe have just crossed that, where it's, it's you're not going to get everybody, or you're just not going to get that vast, group of people where all of a sudden you drop a song and, 30 million people listen to it right from the get-go. But those bands have built up to that. But you have the opportunity right then and there to interact with those people one-on-one and create that interaction, because you never know exactly who they're going to connect with around the music, who they're going to talk to about it, who they're going to get into it at that point. So when you're giving it all, and when you're in those more intimate shows where instead of, like your drummer being able to play stadium shows and you're the first person you see is 50 meters away, you can't see their face. But in those club shows, it's the closest person to you is literally, here's this, like, here you guys are up on stage, and then that little dip, it's like they're already right up to the front, and they're just right, like, seeing you, and it seems like you're like face to face with each other. You're like, like, let's keep going, let's keep playing, let's keep having some fun. Those are people that are going to consistently, you're able to connect with at that point in time. And I always look about it this way too, and I kind of bring this up to other bands, especially some of the ones that are on the younger side. When you're playing those shows, it's, the people that you're able to connect with and impact at that moment are the people that are right in front of you. Of course, we'll be playing to bigger people, but those people aren't there right now. It's the people that are in front of you right then and there. So whether it's 5, whether it's 10, whether it's 50, whether it's 100, whether it's 200, whether it's 1,000, whether it's 10,000, those are the people that you directly can impact with your music right then and there. So Marcel, like you said, always wanting to give it your all, it absolutely makes sense, because that's your time to make that connection with those fans that are right in front of you. Whether your music is all smash and grab, whether your music is much more emotional, or whether your music is like what you guys have right now, where it's just, it can flow from so many different places, but all we know is that the quality is absolutely going to be there.
Cheers to that, man.
That's what we're trying as well. But that's also something that we're really scared to do, because I don't know, like, it's definitely, I think, so Leon and Toby, so Toby's the other guitarist, and Leon, so they're both like professional musicians. So for them, it's they know their shit. They know their shit. They know how to set up a live show in the best quality possible, right? But Simon, Fabi, and I, we are not professionals at all. So when we started this thing, and when we were writing, we were not really thinking about like how it translates to live. We just want to write nice music, right? And then at some point we realized, okay, we need to play this live as well. And then that was also I'm always like, oh shit.
That was shocking. That was really like,
oh fuck,
Marcel, that was planned as a studio band. What are we doing right now?
Yeah, it was like, oh Jesus Christ. Okay, there's like how many guitar layers? It's like 15, 16. Oh shit. And but it worked out like brilliantly. For like we had one like the final rehearsal where we actually rented out a venue to see how it translates like to a proper sound system and all of that, and then we played, and it was and we played, and none of us were happy. It was really shit, and like everyone was really beat down. Oh fuck, Jesus, like we can't, like if we play like that, it like shit's not going to end well for us. And then we, I don't know, went through all our set, went through all of like the electronics, all the technical details, cleaned all of that up.
We planned those shows like everybody's having some big ass headphones and like crazy sounds. We had it all, like everything from the sub layers to everything was there. We had like a crazy sound on our in-ears, but when we first heard that live, it was whack. It was a big work to do, man.
Yeah, like we played everything, and our sound guy, he recorded it and played it back to us. And everyone was just like looking at you. I was like, that's kind of shit, man. And then I don't know, like we figured it out, or like like our FOH. His name is also Fabi, which is a bit confusing, but like he's our main FOH, which we try to bring everywhere. He's also going with us on tour, and with like he's definitely like the 6th member of Senna, and arguably the most important. So I guess it's Simon and him, because Simon is like a lead singer. You cannot really replace it, and the FOH is just like super fucking important to, because our sound is, I would say, probably more complicated than just, I don't know, having like 1 amp for guitar, 1 amp for bass. But yeah, like he managed to dig us out, just clean everything up. Then we listened back to it. We were happy. We played the first shows. Everyone was happy. We were getting a lot of compliments on sound. So that worked out, but that was like not trivial. And we were really we had a lot of respect, let's put it that way. It's also like not easy to play, especially on guitar. So like very guitar driven music. I don't know, like there's a lot of challenges with that which we didn't think about when we wrote the stuff. Especially Lavender is a song that I fucking hated in the beginning. We're playing live because it was
Well,
just
it
like,
took so long for Marcel to love
yeah,
that song, and I was like, "It's a crazy good song. Why were you hating on your own song
yeah,
just because it sounded not how you expected it to sound live?"
yeah. Just
By now, it's crazy good, isn't it?
yeah, we played the first two shows and it never felt right. And you could also see, like, we opened with it as well, which like like we opened with a song that's not working super well, where people don't know us necessarily, and it was like for the first two shows that was kind of our start, um, which everyone like felt a bit uncomfortable with because it just didn't work out that way. But then again, I don't know. We just put in some work again, and then I don't know, like added some backing tracks to kind of like just glue the stuff together a bit better, and yeah, now it works out again. And then
Now it works
yeah,
out
but
because
also
as just said, let's get started with a banger, and now
yeah,
that show starts really good.
I mean we start with Rosehip now, which is like yeah, makes a lot more sense because like some people already know it. Like if people know one song from us, then it's Rosehip.
Hmm.
So we start with that, and then I don't know, like it kind of sets the tone already. And then when we play Lavender, it just works out way better. The song just sounds better as well. Like Lavender, we just polished, added some stuff to it, play it a bit differently. But yeah, like it's a lot of work, which I don't know, like coming from a metalcore band, it's like just wasn't there. It's just like play the breakdowns, and like if the drummer can play double bass somewhat tightly, you're kind of good.
Yeah, see, that can make sense out of a lot of that as well. And thankfully, you guys end up renting out that venue and giving it a shot live in that setting because,
Yeah.
in your in-ears, you guys might have been playing that first show and you might have thought, this sounds fantastic, this sounds perfect. But then you're looking at the crowd wondering, what the heck is going on? Thank God you guys did that so that you guys could get that figured out, with being your fun house guy, just get everything put together so that first show, everything did come out fantastic. And like you had just said, Marcel, when it came to putting this stuff together with all the different layers on these songs that you guys have with your guitars, it's something where in that live setting, it's not going to be the easiest thing to like put out there and fully reproduce because again, you're able to play one guitar at that one point in time, and you have something there. He's able to play guitar at that one point in time there, but what all those different layers, maybe you're missing out on a specific sound that is like the key in that song that gets people really amped up. Like in Rosehip, like just maybe the way the guitar is sounding specifically in that little bit of a pre-chorus that leads into the full chorus, like you want to have that piece in there to really drive that forward to get into the chorus and just have that blast to really hit everybody. But maybe in a live setting, it's, maybe there's a couple layers there that are missing. So yeah, you want to figure out how do we do this? How can we reproduce this to make sure that we can play this live, but make sure that it absolutely hits the fans the way we want to hit them so that the energy flows and people are feeling the music a lot more. So that now when you guys are playing this, you're opening with Rosehip, everything comes through, everything is happy, everybody is, feeling it. And because it's one that people most likely know, all of a sudden you're opening with that. People are coming into the venue. People are like, okay, we're trying to get going on to this. And they hear a song that they instantly recognize. All right, now everyone's into it. Now you can start playing some of the other stuff that maybe they don't necessarily know, but they're open to that experience. One thing I do want to ask, though, is, we talk about you guys playing in some local bands, those local metalcore bands, the heavier style, that's a lot more, smash and grab. But the style you guys have with Senna, it is so much more than that. So when it came to writing the music and really trying to create your own style within Senna, how did you guys go about doing this? It is something that I've been kind of wondering since I found out about the band. I'm like, how are they doing this? This is something that's a little different than what I'm used to from any really band that I've been interviewing. So how do you guys come up with this sound?
We don't know.
Yeah. That's like no, that's like he's not wrong. I think so. So one person that plays a huge part, so already seventh band member of Senna, so to say. So we work with a producer called Manuel Renner, and he's actually producing a lot of music in Germany at the moment. Like he's really made a name for himself, like for a lot of, like, he produces a lot of just newcomer bands. A lot of them are able to is to be successful with that as well. So like he knows his shit. But when I messaged him, so we don't have like the usual relationship with him where we just rent his space, rent his time, bring our songs and be done with it. But actually he just writes with us. So he's actually more of a member of Senna than just being our producer, and we sent him our stuff. And like right from the beginning, this whole thing started actually with Rosehip. So this was kind of the first demo, which I don't know, like Rosehip just has a lot of riffs. So this is kind of like there was not super much there, but like especially for Lavender, which was the first song that like he actually co-wrote. Like when he came into the project, he was like I'm producing all of these metalcore bands and they want to sound like this, and I do it for them because it's my job. Like I serve them, but I kind of want to write my own stuff. So we said, yeah, let's go. What do you have in mind? He was like, I don't know what I have in mind. I just want to do what I want to do in this moment. Like if and he listens to just every genre. Like he's the only person I know that like doesn't lie if he says he listens to everything, you know. And we just like gave him a stage for that, because usually like he produces a lot of metalcore bands and he produces them super well. And like he probably also gets to be creative in there, but it's all in the bounds of the respective genre, kind of. And we like from the beginning we just kind of said we don't want to do that. So it's just like open field for everything. And that's why he actually got excited working with us. I mean, I worked with him before on a metalcore, on my old metalcore brand. That's how I know him. So when I reached out to him, we knew we had like good chemistry, also like just personally, but also like musically. But then like for him, that's really the project where he can just try stuff out and no one just says no all the time. Because I guess that's usually how it works when you're a producer. Like you have a lot of ideas, you present them to your customers and they say like, yeah, I kind of want to sound it like this, you know. And like that process doesn't exist for us, where we say we want to sound like this, or this should is supposed to be like, it's not supposed to be anything. So most of the time he just like shows me some random like the last band he showed me was like an underground alternative Russian rock shoegaze band or something like that. And it's like, how do you find that, man? Like, how do you even find that? And then it's like, yeah, but listen to that one like guitar sound. And that's how he operates. And with everything, we just say, yeah, you know, let's try it out. And that's how all of this like genre mashing happens. And to me, the craziest thing is that it still sounds coherent. To not like I don't know, like that part doesn't make sense to me. But that just shows that he's like, I don't know. I love the guy. I'm very good friends with him. But he's just like a master at his craft, like bringing all these different elements to it. I mean, for like for a year or two, he also produced a lot of German rap music, which is also like very different from the usual metalcore stuff. But that's how he learns a lot of, I don't know, like when you're doing rap music, you learn so much about vocal like vocal chains, vocal post processing and shit. So that's definitely where all the genre blending comes from. I'm also sure like a lot of us just don't listen to metal much, maybe. Like I don't listen to a lot of metalcore myself. I've also listened to a lot of like, I don't know, yeah, rap music. I listen to a lot of techno music, a lot of electronic music, and also some metal music, of course, but not just that. So yeah, there's a lot of influences, and Manuel's not afraid to just see where it goes, and then it's kind of like we are writing the music and checking out how we can make it work afterwards for live. That's kind of how we write the music as well, whereas like just record this weird ass synth sound, or like we have like one t like monk choir thing with like Mongolian throat singing and all of that shit, and I don't know, we found it funny and then made it
You don't
work.
hear that stuff when you first time listen to it. Like perhaps it's just me, but the layer of everything that comes together is so well done that you don't hear like uh crazy stuff, monks crying their names out and stuff. You don't hear that for the first time, but if you listen closely, there's so much stuff in it. And for I don't know, we started this to uh just in the love of music. We didn't want to make this, like I mentioned earlier, we didn't know that it would become a band that's going to be live on tour. Now we have like 16 dates Europe tour coming up next week, and I think that's a big part where Marcel and me met on the internet and said like, oh man, I like your stuff, I like your riffs. Why don't we put on a band and see where that goes, where that flows, and that just happened. I think that's also a big part. Like we didn't plan to go for big live shows. We were just wanting to make really good music. And I've listened to your stuff myself first time, and I was blown away. And I said, man, I want to go and do some crazy vocals on your guitars. And that's how it started. I don't know. The stuff we do is kind of different because we put on so many styles, like you said. But I think the most important part is that we just love to do music, and we've been making music for, I don't know. I'm an old guy. I've been making music for like 20 years now. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
so
yeah.
I'm 26. I've not been doing music for 20 years, but maybe close, maybe 50 or something.
Yeah, but it was always kind of the idea to start a band and to play Rock am Ring and stuff, to play the big
Yeah.
festivals. That's always something you go for. You go out, you find your guys to make music. You think about, oh man, what could go with the flow? What is every metalcore band doing, and that's going crazy good. So we did that, and no one like we went pretty well, but it wasn't like it wasn't good for us. It wasn't good for ourselves. Like now, it's making music we love, and making music just for, I don't know, because it's so fun to play metalcore, and the next part is some junky, crazy riff coming from, I don't know, jazz and stuff. That's just real pure love for music.
I think also like one part that kind of like, I mean, we're still somewhat commercially success. I mean, not commercially, but like we're getting there somehow. And I think like the nice thing this about Manu, because I guess there's a lot of bands that just do music for the love of music, but it ends up just being too weird for like the majority of people, you know. I think the reason why this kind of does not happen for us is also that with Manuel and also I learned to think about it that way, like, but so it's not, he's kind of still interested um in just like having something polished, you know, but it's not really truly never thinking about, will people like this, to just like to do a great product, like to create a great product, and he's not afraid to try out stuff. So I guess that's I don't know, like if it's a good analogy to that, but like if I think about like Apple products, they're a business. They just want to like do profits. Like that's clear.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I guess like how I see it at least, or how I understand it, like Steve Jobs was like he was an asshole probably, but like he was also a type of person who was just in love with nice things kind of, and it's the same for us. It's like we want to try out weird shit as well, but it has to be a nice with that. Like it's and also like I know for instance from Leon and Toby, that's how they feel about live music. So when we started to talk about how we want to do this live, I was like, I want no backing tracks because I'm a musician, I'm a guitarist, and I'm proud of myself. And they were like, "Are you fucking stupid, man? Like, do you want the audience to not enjoy our music? Because that's what happens if you like just leave out all the important stuff." And also, and then from there, like personally, I learned to just enjoy this side of it as well, where it's like it's for me like it's right now it's a lot of fun to think about it like that as well, where it's just like I don't know, a well-made product as well. And for me, when I was like an angsty, edgy teenager, for me that was just the opposite, and it couldn't coexist. And I think that's for how I see the success of Senna so far is like embracing embracing that. So like it has to be weird, it has to be authentic, it has to come from the heart, but at the same time it also has to be a really fucking good product, you know, like you cannot like you should spend money on good production. It shouldn't sound like a tin can, you know, when you hit the drums. And if you have a lot of like synth stuff, that needs to come out live as well, because that's who we are, you know. Yeah, so learning all of that has been my like personal Zen journey, just like having that coexistence of just doing something that's really cool for everyone, but like not it's not sellout for me anymore. And it's like I've really learned to embrace that. And I think like for me that's been super important, especially with playing guitar, having a lot of internet elitists, having a lot of kids talking shit. Then there was like this whole controversy on Instagram where everyone was faking their stuff. And I was like, Jesus, a lot of stuff going on.
See, we kind of just taking in that whole entire backstory around how you guys have created this sound and where it all came from. I've never really fully I've heard of people like writing alongside their producer, but I've never fully heard of it as the producers wanting to also write at the exact same time as open all these different ideas, and the band's just like, you know what, let's write alongside you, let's have some fun with this, let's see what happens, and then magic ends up coming out of it. And the thing I think what really allows that to happen is what Simon said when you guys were starting this band. It was, what do you guys want to be? Well, you guys really didn't know at that point, but what it allowed you guys to do is be open to whatever you wanted it to be. You weren't putting yourselves in a certain box of, okay, this is the goal that we have, this is the sound that we want, and we have to stick within this. So every time maybe if you were doing that, you take your music to a producer, it's like, well, okay, what do you want? We have these ideas. No. We want to sound like Sempiternal, Bring Me the Horizon. That's it. No. That's not happening here. What you guys are doing is you're open to the experience. You're open to letting these songs and these styles just happen. You're letting things flow the way that they're supposed to naturally, so that from the fans' perspective, when we're listening to music, yeah, there's a lot of things going on. Yeah, it's not one consistent sound, but when we listen to these songs, they flow cohesively from one spot to the next because you guys were open to trying these different ideas that can potentially make them stand out more than they ever possibly could. And it just takes on a whole different life of its own. So, when you're getting to the point in time where, like Marcel said, there's the Instagram people, the elitists out there like, oh, you guys this isn't what I want. They're fake. Are you faking, the stuff that's on Instagram? You know what? You're always going to have people like that. There's always going to be people out there that are not going to be happy with your music, that are going to try and bring you guys down. And it could be for a couple of reasons. One, they're just nasty people. Two, they have nothing better to do in life. And three, honestly, I don't even know what 3 is. It's usually one of the two. It's they're either just nasty people or they have nothing better to do in life except try and tear other people down so that they feel just as bad as them. But at that same point in time, you guys have found exactly what you wanted to find. You guys let this thing blossom into what it is today from, let's just see what this goes, see where this happens, see how everything ends up working out. You guys release music that is connecting with people, that has more of this diversity behind it in terms of what the sound is going to sound like, how these guitar tones are going to be, how everything is layered, and then how everything is going to flow together so that when you guys have an idea or when you're working with your producer and he has an idea, you guys are open to trying something and you never know what might happen. Maybe on the next release that you guys are working on, it could have something that is completely out of left field. Like, we're not expecting any of this to come out, but it might be the piece and it might be the point in time where all of a sudden people listen to it, people get attached to it, and you get that moment where Senna just absolutely blows up on TikTok like Bad Omens did with Just Pretend, or Catch Your Breath did with Dial Tone, or Sleep Token did with every single song they've released in 2023.
Yeah.
And you guys just start
crazy,
picking
man.
up and going forward with it because you were not afraid to try something with it. It is basically the bedrock of your band when it comes to sound, where we're willing to try anything that we find that works, that works for us in the writing that we're doing. And we're not afraid to go forward and see what happens with it. You're not afraid to hear, oh, it doesn't sound like Rosehip did. This is bad. Well, not every song is going to sound like Rosehip. Not every song is going to sound the exact same. If every song sounded the exact same, then we would have, in 2013, 2014, everyone would have written Shadow Moses, and that was it. It would have been boring as all hell. You guys are trying to do stuff that you guys want to do, but it also allows you to be as creative as possible to get whatever message you're trying to get out, get whatever sound you're trying to get out, and create something that in the end is going to be a lot more fruitful than just the same old over and over again.
Absolutely. Like, perhaps people will get mad, but I don't know. We're recording our album right now, and I don't think we have a song that's actually like close to Rosehip in the same way. We don't have any song like Everything Sounds Different. But
I mean, even on the EP, there was no song that sounds like
Yeah.
Rosehip. It's like, I don't know why or why not. I guess. So for me, I feel like I can hear that Rosehip was kind of the first song we've written, because like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff missing for me in Rosehip, and it has a lot of things to do with still figuring out the process. But like, Rosehip for me is almost kind of the most boring song, because it's like very, very, I mean, I like riffs. I was never a lead guitar player. I just like riffs. I'm super proud of I don't know, like the Rosehip chorus riff is actually the Instagram post that Simon messaged me over. So when he heard that riff, he messaged me and said, let's do something with that. So like, I get it that it's like a nice riff. A lot of people like get that stuck in their head, but like, a lot of the stuff that makes Senna fun to me is not in Rosehip. And it's like, and also like, not even like, I don't know, with the album, people will need to be like patient with that, because
oh man, did I say something that's going to be taking a while? I think so,
yeah, like it's not coming out for a while, but like, to me, that's definitely like, I was really afraid to not match the quality of the EP, because I was really like proud of that and happy with that. But to me, the LP is just like the next step for Senna, honestly. It
absolutely
sounds like
next level, yeah.
It sounds like way different, and like, I'm also sure like that maybe it puts some people off because it's like less guitar driven, maybe, or less guitar focus. I think, yeah, I don't know, like, it's definitely guitar driven, but a lot of songs on the EP are like very fun to play on guitar, and it's like hard to play. And we did these like Instagram challenges where you put out some tabs and let people figure it out and play it, and it was a lot of fun. And
We will
I'm
still
not
have
sure.
that.
Yeah, we'll still have to, but not with every song, you know. There's also some songs where it's just like eighth notes. It's like in some ways it's more like the modern metalcore where it's not super crazy riffs necessarily in the chorus, but it's just like some wall sound. But then I don't know, the production is really sophisticated, a lot of elements, a lot of synth elements, a lot of elements from genres we didn't use before. I don't know, like we have some like pop punk verses going on with a lot of stuff. We have, yeah, I don't know, there's so much stuff going on. So like having that in mind and thinking about Rosehip, it's almost like I don't know, it's an outlier for me in that sense almost. Which doesn't mean someone should feel bad if he likes that song. It's like, it's still cool for me. Like, I still like to hear that people like that song, of course.
And one thing that might have happened too when you guys end up releasing that LP is if you guys are working with so many different, trying to know so many different things, working so many different styles, just putting so many different things together, and things aren't necessarily sound like how people might think what they might hear, like with Rosehip. What might happen is you're going to release it and you're going to get these reviews where it's like, well, I like this part, but I don't like this part of it. Or you're going to get a bunch of people like saying, okay, this is the best song, but these songs really kick ass, but these songs I'm not the biggest fan. But it's just if you're going with so many different dynamics, it's people, especially out, they're not going to like every single genre. People, we know that. We know that there's stuff that we like, there's stuff that we don't like. And when bands have songs or albums or LPs that have that dynamic flow to them, there are certain songs that we connect with a lot more because maybe it's in a specific style, maybe it's got the same flow, maybe it's got the energy that we're looking for. But some songs might be a little bit too different where we're like, okay, we're going to, back off on this. But it allows that dynamic to hit and allows you guys to continue to test out what you want to do. And that's the backbone of Senna. You guys are just freely doing whatever you feel like doing. It is the bedrock of that. When you guys start out, like I said, what do we want to do with this? We don't necessarily know where this is going to go, but it allows that openness to happen and allows you guys to experiment with so many different ideas, so many different styles so that these songs can come out as dynamic as possible and deliver the sound the way that you want them to deliver. So when that does end up happening, it's going to be interesting to see how so many different people react. I'm really looking forward to it now, especially after this conversation. And I know it's going to be a while, but there are times where, of course, bands release that stuff. It's like, well, is this going to work? And I keep bringing the Rise, but I got to bring it up again. Look at what they did in 2020 with post-human survival horror. There were so many different styles and so many different things going on in that EP. However, it absolutely hit every step of the way. And it's just people got absolutely into it. ISU got insanely into it. And in the end, when people listen to what you guys end up coming out with, as long as they are going into it with, you know what? This is Senna. Senna does whatever the heck they feel like. I'm just here for the ride and just going to see what happens. You might find a song or two in there that if you listen to it just without that mindset, like I only like metalcore, or I only like death metal, or I only like pop punk and post-hardcore, and that's it. You might be missing out on something that you're really going to get into because of a certain premonition. So if you're going into listening to Senna with an open mind, just open to the experience, trust me, you're going to enjoy it every step of the way, no matter what style you really associate with, what style you really care for. You're just going to enjoy it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. There's one. Sorry, Simon, I need to say this, but there is a way to listen to 2 album songs. And it's coming up. Yeah, we're playing 2 songs from the album on tour.
Man, I just wanted to say that too.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I wasn't sure, but I couldn't pass the opportunity to plug our own tour again. Yeah, we're playing 2 songs. Yeah.
And I have to tell one thing. Like we've been on tour and we started to play the first shows when our EP was like releasing. We had 5 songs on that EP and we were like, we can't do this. We can't just play 5 songs in front of, I don't know, Holding Absence and Being is an Ocean. So 5 songs will take us like close to 20 minutes or something. So we already got some close to finished songs for the album. And we took 2 of those. Now I just wanted to say, everybody that hasn't heard of us yet is asking us about one song. And that's not the EP song. It's one song we've never released. And they were like, man, how's that song called? I don't know. does it have a name? I don't know. It's a Finnish name. I just say it. No, I don't say a name for the song because it just pops in middle of the set, and we've had so many people coming up afterwards and like, how's that song called? I want to listen to that song. So Marcel gets like, when the EP was finished, he was like, I don't know. He was, I don't know. I can pull those songs. Hopefully I can do one or two songs that kind of get close to the EP. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've heard now so many ideas you haven't put on a full song about. And now this.
Yeah. No, it worked out. It worked out. I had like, I was so fucking scared of like going back into the studio and not, I don't know, like it felt really high stakes, because so the kind of story how we even got to know Tom Williams, who's our manager. He's also like the guitarist for Stray, from the Path, but like he's also managing a lot of bands in the scene. And we're by far the smallest band, like by far, like he's managing some huge bands. And like he's been very successful with it. And the story how we even got to know him is that he has like this Twitch stream going on where he's just listening to new music that like the viewers can suggest. And someone sent in Rosehip actually. And he listened to it, and he liked it so much that he messaged us afterwards. And then from there we got to talk to Sharptone. We're now with Tandem Management, which is like he's a manager for Tandem. We're with Kingstar Booking. Like this all happened because like the EP songs were nice enough for them to take a plunge with us. So having that in mind, I was like really fucking scared to because I knew, okay, like that's like the stuff we put up seems to be like of good quality, and people seem to really enjoy it, and of course there's certain expectation. So I was scared.
Never thought like
I was scared
that machine was gonna to work. Like you're working like a machine for those new songs for the LP. And
we really found our groove.
Never thought of like we record music in the way that we don't have dump songs. We don't dump for now. We don't dump songs, and we recorded songs in a way. We changed them in the progress, and we got songs that like by now had five or four choruses, and that changed in a way that where everybody's gonna say, man, we could do that, and it's, I don't know, it's so crazy that those songs come out by now in a day or two. Those songs are so well produced, and you kind of got your style together and everything. So I was like, from the start, I knew that's gonna happen that way. I don't know why you were so bad at thinking that's not gonna be this way. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm already worrying about like second album songs.
Oh man, don't worry about that.
So
I mean, you got the first album.
Not even first album is like still, I don't know, like years out from being released. And I'm fuck.
Yeah, don't just say years out. That's not so true, man.
I don't know, like maybe a second COVID or something hits. I don't know.
Oh, don't even go there, man. Don't even go there. I don't want to think about that. Because what I want to do right now is I want to buy a plane ticket, come out to Europe, because if you guys are playing 2 songs off of the upcoming LP at some point in time, and those are the ones that are hitting a lot heavier with the fans and like really connecting with them, man, I want to see and hear these now. But of course, if I'm going to do that, I got to go out and see you guys live. So, shoot, okay, might have to take out a loan, might have to sell a kidney, but you know what? It can potentially happen. So, gentlemen, as we bring this podcast to its conclusion, so I can find a way to sell a kidney to come and see you guys, one thing I always like to do at the end of these episodes is give a chance for my guests, which is both of you, a chance to say whatever you want to say, plug whatever you want to plug, promote whatever you want to promote at the end of the episode. So, Marcel and Simon, floor is yours.
Listen to the music. I don't know what to say. Just listen to. I'm made happy by people listening to your music. That's all I want to say. That's just making me happy, and I'm the old guy in the band. I've seen a lot. Nah, but that sounds so crazy. I've seen a lot of stuff happening in the world. No, I've seen a lot of stuff in this music industry, and I thought like my career in music was done. And I'm just so happy to play my songs out live. And I kind of think when you come to a show, you feel that, because I'm just so unbelievably happy to go out and present those songs. Just listen to your music. That's all I can say, man.
Say, Marcel, you got anything to add to that, or am I gonna go full promo and close this bad boy out?
No, so I'll do the standard. So we have a YouTube channel where we upload a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of playthroughs. So especially if you're a musician, or if you just enjoy like having a bit of behind the scenes, go check out our YouTube. Go check out our Instagram. We will also start a TikTok for the tour, so also keep an eye on that. One thing I actually learned, which is like also really cool, which maybe not everyone knows, but you can actually also follow on Spotify, and that's probably the best way to see if we're playing near you. So follow us on Spotify if you enjoy the music, so you will be updated with new music if we release it. You will be updated with like concerts, and please come to our concerts and say hi to us. We love to chat with you. Even if you don't buy merch, just come to the merch table and say hi. So no worries. Yeah, that's it. And please check out the Chord Progression Podcast from Kevin, of course.
Oh man, I love the little plug at the end of this. So now it's time for this episode with 3 very specific things. First things first, when it comes to Senna, yeah, you're going to want to follow along with them on everything, because the music is incredibly dynamic. You never know exactly what's going to happen next in the best way possible. And when that LP ends up coming out, when they're going to be touring more, you're going to want to follow along with all that stuff. So the best way to do that is to go to the description of this podcast where it says Find Senna Online. Links for everything social media wise, links for the YouTube channel, links for the TikTok page so you can watch everything that happened on tour and all the crazy stuff they got into, because there's probably going to be at least 1 or 2 crazy stories that end up happening due to the fact that, well, that's usually the way that life ends up going. And where you can find them online, where you can get some merch now, where you can find where they're going to be playing so that you can actually go and meet these guys at the merch table, talk with them, maybe pick up a t-shirt or 2 because that sounds like a good idea, and where you can stream, download, buy their music, all that kind of stuff. And when it comes to Spotify, links will be down there as well, so you can hit that follow button. Make sure you're following along with them. Now it's time for number 2, gentlemen. So whenever I have guests on the podcast, I enjoy having on the podcast, I tend to make a certain promise as a way to say, thank you for being on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time. And I would like to support the band any way I can continuing going forward. So this type of promise has been hit on so many different occasions, and you guys absolutely hit on this as well. I like to say when. When is a promise of it's going to happen. We just don't know date or time yet. Not if. If implies it might not happen. So when I get to see Senna perform live for the first time, I'm going to do my best Liam Neeson impersonation, and I will look for you. I will pursue you. I will find you. And first round's on me when I do so.
Awesome, man. Yeah, let's do that.
Hell yeah. So then number 3, as we bring this podcast to its full conclusion, I cannot end by saying goodbye, because this is a hell of a lot of fun. I would love to have you both back on the podcast again in the future. I cannot wait for that, first time I can see you guys play live. I got to make good on that promise. And when that LP comes out, whenever it comes out, hopefully it's not after second COVID and not after I fully sold a kidney or some other organs to come out and see you guys play live. I cannot end this by saying goodbye. That is way, 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 way too final. So I'm going to end it by saying this. I'll see you later.
See you later, Kevin. Thanks for having us.
Well, folks, that was my interview with Simon and Marcel from the band Senna out of Germany. And now it is time for Kevin's final thoughts. So my final thought on this one is going to be rather simple. When I heard the guys talk about how they came up with their sound, and it was, we really didn't have anything we came up with. We decided, we'll try stuff. We'll just see what happens and we'll go for it. They didn't plan on anything. They just let things happen the way they are. And alongside writing with their friend, their producer as well, I mean, take a look at what they've done in their EP. Take a look at Roast and take a look at all the other things. Those songs are dynamic. They're different. They don't sound like the same cookie cutter songs that, especially when it comes to metal, that has been consistent, or metalcore that had been consistent from like 2013 till now. I mean, or even like 2013, 2015, all the way up to like maybe like 2020, 2021. But it's just, the difference is they are willing to try things, they're willing to give things a shot, and they're willing to be open to the experience. And that is one thing I think that, you know, not only from their musical standpoint can be a big piece that we can take, is understanding that, you know, being open to the experience, you never know what might happen, and it doesn't limit you. But in life as well, be open to the experience so it doesn't limit you in what you're able to do. Yes, you might have things that are very comfortable to you. Yes, you might have a comfort zone that you do not want to get out of. I understand that. It is very nice to be able to be in something that is the familiar, that doesn't break away from this overall just routine that you might have. But being open to those new things and being open to those new experiences has allowed Senna to try many different things in their music, and from my standpoint as well, it has allowed myself to try so many different things in life and experience many different things that I never would have. Being open to the experience led to this podcast. Being open to the experience led to my crazy Europe trip. Being open to the experience led me to try out and go and see so many of these different bands that I had no idea who they were. Maybe because I liked one of the openers, like, again, 2019. I want to go see Light the Torch because I want to see Howard Jones perform. I had really no idea about the two bands that were going on after him. It was Fit for a King, and then it was the first time I ever saw Ice Nine Kills. Being open to the experience, seeing what happened, has led me down this fantastic path in life, and is leading Senna down the fantastic path of music as well. So that might be the thing for you guys. Always remember, be open to the experience. So be open to Senna as well. Go and follow along with them on all their social medias. Go and follow along with them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Follow along on YouTube so you can watch their playthrough videos if that's something that's more interesting in you. Find them online. Go see a show that they're playing with Siamese and Resolve if you're over in Europe. Go and buy some merch. Go and say hi with the merch table. And go and subscribe and follow all them on, you know, whatever streaming platform you prefer. Links in the description of the podcast, so go do that. Make sure you also follow along with us on the Chord Progression Podcast. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as well now. As once again, we're thinking we might pick that up. TikTok, though, done with it. So all the links are in the podcast below. We post a lot about the episodes that are coming up. A lot of fun content on there. Instagram live streams every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central. On top of that, we also connect you guys all over the place on there. So just message us. We'll be loving to talk to you. And by we, I mean me. Also, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. You can watch it on YouTube. You can subscribe there, or you can subscribe on Spotify, Podcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon, wherever you might see us. So please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out, really helps me out. So thank you. If you've already done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. If you're like, I don't want to do that, I'm going to say please do. But if not, you're also welcome back anytime. Make sure I want to say thank you to Phoenix Fitness as well. 20% and up just 20% off. Use the code CPP20 at FNX.com. Link for the podcast. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you, Simon. This one was a blast. If I do sell my kidney and make it out there, we're still going to have fun, but I might be down, might be down a kidney. But on that note, that's your guys. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one. So big, healthy, and hearty. See ya!